Hello, and welcome back to another Minecraft Let's Play video with me, Elven Dragon. So last episode we went and decorated up this little cave that we have on the island here, turning it into a little bit more of a smuggler's little hideout. And I'm quite happy with how this little area has turned out. I'm thinking we might want to add a burnt campfire out here. So not something that's still burning, just something that's already gone out. Probably somewhere in this area here, like maybe right here, I think might be a good idea. Maybe just like a little signal fire or something like that. But since then, I've been just really busy working on terraforming the island. Gotten quite a bit of stuff done, and while doing that, I've gotten to notice we've got a few little projects that we still have to get in. So the closest area that we still have to finish up is the area right on top of our cave that we left because we wanted to finish up the forest terraforming before we started working on this. And I'm not sure we're going to really get this today. Kind of want to get the lighthouse that's planned for this area here in first. I was a little concerned about trying to get the forest floor in before doing that because I wasn't sure on the footprint of the lighthouse. I've got this cobblestone line here that's kind of marking out where I'm thinking the wall is going to be. But I'm still not entirely sure that this is the right size. So it might get moved in, might not. I don't quite know. But until we actually figure out this project, this area is probably best not to get in just yet. We do, however, have one more project in the forest area here, other than getting all of the firefly bushes and figuring out the plants that we're putting in here. Thinking Lily of the Valley, but I'm not quite sure. I think part of the original plan called for torch flowers as well, so I'll have to go and start growing up some of those. But we're still kind of figuring out the forest undergrowth here. Maybe putting in some leaves or something. But we do have this chicken coop here that we still have to get in. And this, I think, is probably going to be a really good idea for today. So what I'm thinking is we're going to have two little chicken coops here. Just going to put a hopper going into a barrel on the bottom here. Then for our sides, we'll do the oak for our planks on our house. So we'll probably do something similar for the chicken coop. Put planks here to probably mix in a bit of oak as well. And we'll do oak fences on the backs here. So something kind of like this to start. We don't need it to be very high, but we're going to need a few more materials here. You can see I did go and get the forest floor all the way around here as well. I didn't go into the sheep pens. Not too sure about doing that, but something we can do eventually, I think. This isn't too big of an area. I do want to make sure we have plenty of grass for our sheep. So that was part of the reason why we didn't bring this all the way in, but we can probably fade this into that a little bit better. But I need to go gather the bits and bobs for that little chicken coop, and then I'll be right back. Alright, so I've gone and thrown together a very simple little design here. We've got our chicken pens in the center. Got two of them. Only going to put eggs and such into one. Hopefully we actually get a chicken. Oh, there we go. So this is now fully functional. Just going to go through this whole stack here. And that'll just get us some more chickens and eggs. And hopefully they all go in there. I can see them standing on the sides. So I don't know if that's going to actually work. But we'll block that off. Actually, I think what we'll do for this front is we're going to put those oak planks there. And then what we can do is we can go and put some stairs on top. I don't have any jungle on me, so we're just going to have to settle for just regular oak. And then the center will just be another half slab of our oak planks. So we can probably swap some of these out for jungle later. I think for now, though, that's going to be a nice little start. And I kind of like how that turned out. So That should just get us some chickens. We might replace these front fences with trapdoors. No, wait, no, I did get those out so we could do that, though, so is a possibility. But I'm kind of liking how this works. Again, we've got 2 little chicken pens here. Again, but since we don't really need eggs a whole lot, I think we should be fine just keeping them in one. And again, actually, you know what? Let's get our building stuff out of the barrels that's fallen in and replace those oak logs on the front there with the oak trapdoors. We might swap those to the other side there as well, depending on how we like this. So let's get those in. Just put them like that. Not sure if we want to keep them in that orientation, though. Yeah, that looks better. That looks a lot better. All right. That works pretty well. Like that. That should pretty much finish all of our forest area here, except for doing the undergrowth. All right, so with the chicken coop done, that just leaves a bunch of stuff on the other side of the island where we are still working on getting in the groundwork. And all of the trees. We still have a lot of trees to put in here. But there's 2 spaces over here that I'm thinking of focusing on. We have the cherry grove here, which, as you can see, I put in all the rest of the trees, and I've kind of decided what I want to do for the groundwork. So I've got some moss. I really like how the moss looked in the tower, and I figured we might as well throw a little bit of podzol in here as well. So we're just going to have to go and mix that in here. So I've kind of added a few lines of stone here to kind of divide the cherry grove from the rest of the island. So the scrubland here is basically going to go up to the stone line that we have going on either side of here. And that will kind of help limit the cherry grove to just this peninsula. So I think that'll help a lot because I don't necessarily want to bring the cherry grove all the way out here. Which brings us to our other little area that I'm thinking, which is this little cave here. This is where we ended up spending our first night. We've dug quite a bit of the way down here, and it actually ends going into a water cave because we were trying to start a little mine here. Not a whole lot down in this cave, so it's not particularly useful. But what I was thinking is that we could decorate this up a little bit. So I've got some cobblestone, some mossy cobblestone. I've got a little bit of andesite as well. And I think what we'll do is we'll kind of turn this into a little Castaway's hideout. So we've got a bed, we've got a campfire there. Keep it burning for this one. And we just need to kind of decorate this up. So we've got those 2 projects. I'm gonna get to work on those. At least a little bit of those. And then I'll be right back. All right, so I was working on the cave, and all of a sudden we have a bunch of skelly horses here. This is going to go horribly for me if we don't have a bow. I'd love to keep all of them if we can. We'll have to find some sort of place to store these. Maybe we'll have some sort of ruined stable or something, but that is going to be very interesting. Regards to the skelly horses, we have been doing okay. The cave's coming along. Started putting in a few things over for the little cherry area. I would love to put bamboo and pink petals all through here, except we have neither of those. So instead I've been playing around with the cherry saplings, the cactus flowers, and pink tulips. Not sure I want to go with this. It doesn't look bad, but the lack of the pink petals along the ground is definitely throwing off this area, so I'm gonna have to play around with this. But I kind of like how this is going. Definitely needs a few more plants through here, though, because it is very open. That, or we need some sort of path going up through here. But again, we've got 4 skelly horses to do something with as soon as we get rid of their riders. And yeah, this should be very interesting. I think we can just kind of lead these off one at a time and maybe deal with them that way. We'll have to find some place to store the horses in the meantime, but I guess we now have skelly horses on this island. So I'm gonna go capture these guys and then I'll be right back. Alright, so we haven't gone all the way down to the back of the cave fully. I don't think we will. We may end up putting in a fake wall or fake-ish wall and kind of blocking off this lower section. But I'm really liking how this area is turning out. So we have a whole bunch of vines and stuff that I've added. I added in a couple things of pale moss and moss carpets into here, and I really like how that looks. So we've got a little crafting table. I might toss in a furnace right into that corner. Actually, we do have enough cobblestone on us to still do that. So let's go toss that in real quick right now. Just little things to give like little starting area feels, even though this is near the end. But I really like how this is turning out. We did go and capture all 4 skelly horses successfully. They're currently in our fort. And I set up a few cactus out here to get some more cactus flowers to put into the cherry blossom area. We might toss in some of the little wildflowers into here as well, because I definitely think it needs some more color. I like the pink in here. Maybe we'll add in the different tulips too. Actually, let me go grab those real quick. All right, so we added in a couple of the red and the orange tulips. I didn't see any white ones in there. I don't know if we have white tulips anywhere. I have to go see if we have a wandering trader somewhere that has them. But I kind of like that. I do like the addition of the other colors in there. I added in a few wildflowers as well. Don't have very many of those because I haven't run the wildflower farm. And we also don't have many tulips because I haven't run the flower farm at all. Which is fine because we only have this one area that's actually terraform. So I kind of like that. Again, I do like the idea of making this into a little flower area. I might put in some like smaller trees, some stick trees with the cherries on them. Not sure. Something to play around with. I am really liking how this whole area is coming along. I really wish there was an easy way for us to get the cactus flowers. Again, we've just got a temporary farm for them here with 8 cactuses. I don't know how long it's going to be until we get more flowers, but hopefully they come in soon. But we'll have to play around with that and see what we can do. If we could find a way to automate this, that would be amazing. I don't know if that's possible. But with that, that is going to be about it for today. I'm going to keep working on the cherry forest here, see how much more we can get. I want to make sure we don't quite run out of our podzol. We might try to get the next layer so in. So I'm going to have to go get a little bit more of that. And we are definitely going to need more moss, because I am running quite low on that. But thank you all so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like and consider subscribing if you want to see more of what is going on this island and in the rest of this world. And I will catch you all in the next one. Goodbye.